Welcome to Simply Stylish DIY, where we take ordinary to extraordinary. Hey y'all, I'm Courtney. Welcome to Simply Stylish DIY. Today we are making 3 heart-shaped wreaths just in time for Valentine's Day. Plus stick around till the end for a bonus Hugs and Kisses hand-painted plaque. We're keeping it both simple and stylish, all while staying on a budget. We will transform ordinary Dollar Tree supplies into extraordinary creations. So grab your scissors, unleash your creativity, and get ready to fall in love with the art of simple and stylish craft making without breaking the bank. Without further ado, let's get to crafting. Let's start with a red double heart wreath. To start the first DIY, you're going to need 2 rolls of ribbon, any choice of color, whatever you think is going to look the best. Then you're going to need 2 wire wreath forms from Dollar Tree, the heart-shaped ones. You're going to put a little glue on the edge and start wrapping your wreath form, overlapping the edges to make sure that the wire does not show underneath. Start wrapping until you get it all covered, and then when you get to the end, make sure you pull the little edges over the bottom of the heart and cover it up so none of that shows below. Now we're going to wrap the next one in the same way that you wrap the first one. Here you can use any choice of ribbon that you want to. I chose the one with the white hearts, the next one with the red hearts. You could use black and white gingham or red and white gingham. You can change it for the different seasons. It does not have to be just for Valentine's Day. You could do it with burlap or anything that you think would match your decor. Okay, I'm going to slow it down here to show you that when you get to the end, you need to cover the edge of your heart end, and with the ribbon, wrap it around it tight. Then come back around one more time to seal that edge and put some glue on the edge of the ribbon and seal the back. Okay, after you get your wreath forms wrapped, you're going to go ahead and position them how you want them to set. I put mine on top of each other on the side. You're going to put some hot glue on the back, adhere them to each other, and then get some pipe cleaners. Wrap a couple around that just for some extra support. And then after the glue sets and the pipe cleaners are on, your 2 forms should be together good. Okay, we're going to make a bow. Grab any kind of ribbon that you think is going to be to match yours. I chose the white and red polka dots, some regular just red. We're going to layer it on. I usually make them by hand, but I thought I'd use the easy bow maker. If you want a longer tutorial how to make a bow, let me know in the comments and I'll be glad to make that video. Once you get your bow made, you're going to just take it off the form and fluff it up some, putting the tails and the loops where you think they're going to look the best. And we're also going to dovetail the ends that are cut. Just fold your ribbon over and cut them on a diagonal to make the little dovetails. Okay, you're going to take your pipe cleaner that you attached your bow together with, and you're going to attach it to the middle where you put the pipe cleaners to put the 2 pieces of wreaths together. And once you have that secure, we're going to add some embellishments. Okay, this part's totally optional. I decided to grab a white button out of my stash just to add a little bit of a whimsical touch to the bow. We're just going to fluff our bow up, make sure our tails and our loops are where we want to put them, and then we're going to add a couple more things to the end and we'll be ready to be finished. I picked these picks up at Michael's. I think they were maybe $1.49. We're going to put those in the top and the bottom just to give it a little bit of whimsy. Here's your finished product. All you have to do now is hang it up. You can put a loop on the back. I didn't show that. Just put you a piece of ribbon and you can hang it up on a door, put it outside on your porch, hang it on a wall. It's up to you. You can even set it on a table and enjoy it for the season. Time to get started on number 2, our soft, natural, chunky yarn wreath. Okay, we're going to start with another wire wreath form from Dollar Tree. We're going to grab some chunky yarn. I think I picked this one up at Walmart. It's just a thick, chunky yarn. I think it's around $7.88. You can get it around $5. It does not take the whole skein, so you'll have some left over for another project too. We're going to start by tying it off at the bottom. You could loop it around one of the outside wire pieces too and hot glue it, but I chose to tie a knot here. You could add a little hot glue just for extra support if you wanted to. Once you get it tied to the bottom one, you're going to start looping it around. You could cut it in strips and do it in sections if that would be easier, not to have to pull the skein through the middle of the wreath form. But I just started pulling it through, and the more you use, of course, the less you're going to have to pull through. Hold it with your other hand while you're pulling it through and make sure it's tight so you don't have any empty spaces between the pieces you wrap. Once you get everything all wrapped up and it's finished and completely covered, and you've checked to make sure nothing's showing through, you're going to take the last piece to the back side, snip it with your scissors, and hot glue it to the back of the wreath. Therefore, you're completely finished with the wrap. Now we're going to make our bow. Choose the ribbon that you want to use. I chose the gold shiny for the bottom, and then we're going to use another one with gold and cream just to keep all the colors natural for this wreath. We're going to make it on our easy bow maker and be finished tying it off with a pipe cleaner in order to attach it to the wreath. Taking about a 2-inch piece of the chunky yarn, we're going to make just a loop with it, hot glue it, and glue it to the middle at the top so you have a loop to hang it. Okay, here I picked up a heart-shaped wood piece, and you can get those at any craft store or Dollar Tree. We're going to paint it off white just to match the yarn, and we're going to let that dry, then take a pencil because it'll be easier to go ahead and write the word love, or any word you want to write really. Now we're going to take some puffy 3D paint in the gold glitter color and go over our words that we wrote in pencil, just because it was easier to write it first instead of having to go over it and try to write it in the paint. Just for a little bit more embellishment, I'm going to go around the edges of the heart and just make some dots, spacing them out as you see fit. Let your painted heart dry completely. Grab you another craft stick, a popsicle stick, anything would work good. I went ahead and painted it. Probably don't need to, but you can. Hot glue that to the heart, and then we're going to stick it down in the top of the wreath through the bow. Just position it at the top however you see fit in between your bow tails, or if you didn't put the tails at the top, put them in between the loops and have it sticking up at the top. Fluff your bow, and it'll be all ready to hang on a door or a wall. The third wreath we're going to make is our pink heart blanket wreath. Okay, in our third DIY, we're going to start with a heart wreath ring from Dollar Tree. Also pick up, while you're there, 2 baby blankets in any color you want. I picked up the pink. We're going to lay our blanket out a long ways, fold it over, and cut the edges off where it was sewed. Once you get those edges cut off, it just makes it easier to do it at the beginning. We're going to measure off. You can cut this with a roller or scissors. Either one works. We're going to cut them off into 2-inch strips. You don't have to be exact because the blanket's forgiving. It stretches anyhow, and at the end we're going to trim it all up so it's all even. While it's still folded up, we're going to cut the strips into the 2-inch sections. So measure it off 2 inches, cut the strip, 2 inches, cut the strip, and then we will have a pile of strips. We're going to cut down even further. Take your scissors and clip if you have any pieces that are stuck together. Then we're going to lay out the long strips into a pile together and cut them in 10-inch strips. You're going to have about 30 inches, so you're going to do it 3 different times. While you're stretching it out to put them all on top of each other, just check and make sure you have all the little threads off from the edges of the blanket. We're just going to pile them on top of each other, stretch it out to about 10 inches, make a cut, 10 more inches, make a cut, and then you should have about 10 inches left over, and there we can get started putting them on the form. Okay, now we have a whole pile of strips cut. We're ready to start putting it on our form. Take a strip, wrap it around all 3 of your wires, pull it together, make a knot, and slide it down to the end. You're going to continue this all the way around the wreath. You don't have to be so careful, just make sure it's covered, and once you get to the end, we'll see what to do. If you pull it too tight because of the blankets from the Dollar Tree, it does stretch a little bit. That's okay, because we're going to cut the edges off to make them all even at the end anyhow. If it rolls like it does right here, just take your fingers, flatten it out, and work it till it's even a little bit, and tie your knot, slide it down, and keep on going. It's going to happen, but that's okay. It's just the make of the blanket. Keep wrapping it as you go. We're going to have it wider at the top. Just continue, just keep going, and then we'll make it work at the end. Okay, once you get it all wrapped up, this is what you're going to have. You're going to lay it flat, kind of push it down, and cut off the edges so they all look even. Because, like I said earlier, when you pull them, they stretch, which is completely fine. You just want them all to look even when you finish up. Now we're going to take our fingers and fluff up the edges so they aren't laying so flat. I took a little piece of pink ribbon, made a loop with it, and I'm going to hot glue it to the back and the middle so we can hang it. This wreath looks good hanging on a door or hanging in a baby's room. It would be also a great gift for a new parent. Bonus DIY, we're going to make a Hugs and Kisses wooden door plaque. Okay, for our bonus DIY, we're going to make a wooden plaque to hang on a door. It would also be pretty sitting just on a shelf. We're going to take a unpainted wood round plaque. It's around 16 inches. I just found it in my stash. I know the Dollar Tree also sells these. We're going to paint it with chalk paint in the color of ivory. After your plaque is dry, we're going to get some painter's tape and go about halfway down in it. Put the tape down, press it firmly to make sure when you paint the other color underneath that you do not get any paint bleed. It does not have to be a perfect halfway point because we're going to put flowers and greenery at the top with a bow. I chose to paint my bottom part in ballet slipper in chalk paint. When you start painting around the painter's tape, make sure that you go horizontal so that you do not get a clump of paint underneath in case it does not adhere exactly right. This way you should get a nice crisp line. After the ballet slipper color dries, you're going to pull the painter's tape off and it should leave just a nice crisp line underneath. Okay, here's a fun part. Now we're going to put our words at the bottom. I chose to do Hugs and Kisses with a squiggly line and a little heart. You can put any words you want, such as Happy Valentine's Day, Valentine wishes. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with Valentine's Day, but the fun hack is if you do not want a hand letter here, you can print off with a font that you like on your computer, put it down, tape it together how you want it to be positioned. And then if you have any carbon paper, put underneath it, get a pencil, go over it, and then when you pull up the carbon paper, you can then take your marker or your paint, and your image will be there just like the font that you want it to be. If you do not have carbon paper here, you can take a pencil, rub it on the back of the paper, and it will transfer still just like the carbon paper. When you pull up your carbon paper or your paper that you use to trace it on, if it doesn't look exactly perfect, you can fix that once you start rubbing your Sharpie over it or paint. Okay, to do the lettering, I'm going to use a Sharpie oil-based marker with an ultrafine tip. We're going to trace over the letters, and the ones that are open, such as hugs, kisses, and the hearts, we're going to go back in and fill them in with the marker, and then I'm going to choose to do the fill in for the hearts in gold. Okay, the oil base usually dries pretty fast, but make sure it's completely dry until you start the next part, because you don't want to accidentally smear it or rub it off. We're going to pick our ribbon for our bow to put at the top. Here I chose just something neutral too that goes with the pink, so we're going to work with some ivory and gold polka dots and also some gold shiny ribbon. We're going to make our bow pretty quickly here on the Easy Bow Maker and tie it off with a pipe cleaner so we can glue it to the board. Okay, we're going to pick out some greenery to put on the top of the board. I think I got these at Walmart. Dollar Tree also sells eucalyptus stems, and then we're also going to add some pink to the top just to have the pop of color so it matches the bottom. Go ahead and cut you a couple pieces of the eucalyptus, and we're going to position them on the boards. They hang off just a little bit. Glue them on, and then we're going to decide how we want to put our bow in the middle before we choose to put our pink sprigs. Alright, I picked these up I think at Joann's last year when they were on clearance. We're going to take our pliers and snip off a couple of the sprigs, putting 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom on each side of the eucalyptus sprigs. And it's that easy. You have a completed Hugs and Kisses plaque that you can leave hanging up year-round or bring it out for Valentine's Day or just all the month of February.
Also, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of fun ways to turn basic materials into stunning decor pieces or for gift giving. Please leave a comment just to say hi or any suggestions you have for upcoming videos while we turn ordinary into extraordinary, one simple stylish DIY at a time.
I enjoyed our time together. Thanks for watching.